Welcome to Faith in the Falls, a special feature from the Menomonee Falls News highlighting churches in the Menomonee Falls area. This feature, highlighting St. Paul's United Church of Christ, came from the September 23, 1965 edition. Standing proudly at the corner of Appleton Avenue and Roosevelt Drive, St. Paul's United Church of Christ is a living memorial to its congregation's commitment to Christ. Church history notes that about 30 years after the first white people settled in this area, St. Paul's Church was organized as St. Paul's United Evangelical Congregation on January 15, 1868, under the guidance of the Reverend Caspar Rugg. A vacant frame Methodist church building was purchased by the membership in 1869 and served as a house of worship until the present Lannon stone structure was erected in 1880. St. Paul's grew rapidly, and a parsonage was built at the turn of the century. In 1917, a guild hall was erected by the women of the church. The German language was used until 1918, when English was introduced one Sunday a month. The last German service was conducted in 1955. Another surge of growth began in the 1940s. In 1955, a major rebuilding of the church took place, which doubled the length of the church and provided a large fellowship hall and kitchen in the lower level. A new parsonage on St. Regis Drive was dedicated in September 1961. The educational building and a new church facade were the result of a building program completed in 1964. Included in the former is the church office and several large rooms used for meetings and church school classes. The membership of St. Paul's at the present time is 844, with 510 enrolled in the church school. It should be noted that the United Church of Christ was the result of two mergers. The first, a merger between the evangelical and Reformed churches, and the further merger of that group with the Congregational Christian churches. The Reverend Eugene Schneider has served as St. Paul's pastor since December 1, 1959. He's married to Marjorie Rorick. They have two sons, Tobin, 14, and Timothy, 12. The Reverend Schneider graduated from Elmhurst College in Illinois in 1945, and in 1948 he received a joint degree from the Chicago Theological Seminary and the University of Chicago. Before coming to St. Paul's, the Reverend served two 6-year pastorates, the first at St. John's Evangelical and Reformed Church in Council Bluff, Iowa, and the second at St. Mark's United Church of Christ in Milwaukee. In addition to his normal pastoral duties, the Reverend Schneider is active in local organizations and participates in the radio-TV ministry of the UCC. This latter group has recently completed a series of 13 30-minute television programs entitled Tangled World, evolving around the themes of Christian ethics. St. Paul's is governed by a church board comprised of 15 members, 12 of whom are elected by the congregation and 3 who serve by virtue of holding other church offices. The president of the congregation serves a 1-year term and presides at all church board and congregational meetings. At such meetings, church policies are decided, a recent example being the decision to conduct an additional worship service on Thursday evenings this past summer. Though St. Paul's conducts no annual public events, each October a missionary education weekend is held wherein lectures, plays, and movies are presented, depicting a particular mission country. India was last year's subject. In discussing the structure of the United Church of Christ, the Reverend Schneider explained that the UCC is composed of 3 units which provide information and guidance for the local congregations. These units are the Southeast Wisconsin Association of UCC, where the local pastors hold their standing and is responsible for the local training of church school teachers. The Wisconsin Conference of UCC, which incorporates the 300 UCC churches in Wisconsin and suggests programs for the church's men and women's organizations, and the worldwide organization UCC, itself which inaugurates missionary work programs. In 3 years, St. Paul's will celebrate its centennial. Certainly, new ideas have been inaugurated since its beginning, but its ideal of personal commitment to Christ will always remain. As the Reverend Schneider noted at the time of the dedication of the new education building in 1964, St. Paul's and a shopping center stand side by side. May the people of St. Paul's always feel that one is as necessary as the other.